on Instagram. I'm just waiting a couple of moments for people to join. I'm just going to switch on Facebook as well. Hello folk on Facebook. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Looks really bright now. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining me now, hello. If you're joining me later, hello. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday morning. And you've had plenty of breakfast and tea and coffee, so you're all raring to go. Hopefully this flow this morning will help kind of wake everything up for you as well, so you can enjoy the rest of your day. If you're joining me on Instagram, feel free to give us a wave, or on Facebook, feel free to send me a message. I always love to see who's joining me every time I do a community class. So I've gone for a morning class today because I'm going to a barbecue later. So I thought it might be nice to change things up. We might do a few more morning classes as the weeks go on. But I'll always keep you informed of when classes are happening. So thank you for your patience. I had a nice little 2-week break where I was able to do some planning for the new term. So community classes are back on again now. And if you wanted to join for a longer class, a full class term, so the class is around about an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes normally in the term blockings, and they're normally on a Wednesday and a Thursday night. So if you're interested in joining for those, you can send me a message. Otherwise, the community classes will generally run most Sundays, and I'll let you know if they're not on. But thank you for joining. So if you're just getting yourself together, you've got a couple of minutes just to run around and get your yoga mat ready. Maybe get some water, any kind of jumpers or blankets that you want to have for later as well, just for our relaxation at the end. But it's going to be a flowing practice today, a nice warming one in line with the morning sunshine, although it seems to have gone behind a cloud at the moment. But thank you for joining. We'll get started shortly. So if you're just waiting to go, you can get yourself into a comfortable seated position. That can be kneeling, you can have your legs crossed, or you can sit yourself on a pillow or a sofa briefly if that feels better for you. Just get yourself comfy. And as you get yourself comfortable on the ground, just start to close your eyes, maybe have a feel of your body, feeling your arms, your legs, just noticing if you're holding any tension today. So let's see how that feels. So noticing your body, noticing your state of mind today. Just taking a couple of cleansing breaths. In through the nose and maybe out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you take a couple more of these, just notice as you exhale, just loosening the jaw, allowing the shoulders to relax. Settling into your Sunday morning. We're just going to do a quick breathing exercise. So we're going to take a breath that lasts for about 4 counts. And then hold that breath for just a couple of counts and then exhale for 4 counts as well. And see how you feel with that kind of breath. If you want to take an inhale for a little bit longer, you can do. And if you want to take a shorter inhale, you can do. So that's a count of 4 as you inhale. A pause for 2. And then a count of 4 as you exhale. Apologies on Facebook with the connection today. So inhaling through the nose, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Pausing for 2. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm counting too slowly for you, just go at your own pace. Just a lovely steady breath, an equal breath. Perhaps if you feel like you can pause for 4 as well. Inhaling for 4. Taking a pause for 2 or 4 counts. And exhaling for 4. With your next breath, see if you can breathe all the way into your belly this time. So inhaling and allowing that belly to balloon outwards. And then exhaling, drawing the navel in, allowing that breath to come from the belly up through the chest and out of the nose. We'll do one more of these breaths. And then you can flutter open your eyes. Maybe rub your hands together first, give them a little rub. A nice inhale, a big stretch. And we'll just pause here horizontally, and I want you to point your fingers towards the ceiling. And if you do a lot of activities that involve taking fists, so driving, biking, climbing, you may find that this stretch feels actually a bit intense on the fingers. So give the fingers a little bit of a wiggle as well. Just stretching the arms out side by side. Thank you for joining me if you've just tuned in now. And we can just take a few wrist circles here forwards. And just any kind of arm stretches that feel right for you right now. And then rotating those hands and wrists backwards as well. Just a big morning stretch. And maybe a big sweep again. All the way up, all the way down. And as you take that stretch, I want you to really go as wide as you possibly can. So reaching the fingertips as far away from each other, slowly reaching up. And we're going to look between the hands. As you inhale here, let's draw the palms together. Take the hands down at heart center. And just as we're here today with our hands at our hearts, I'd like you to take an intention. And it's that intention that I spoke about, I think, yesterday on my profile. With in line with the solstice and a kind of change in seasons and time of year, I'd like you to take the intention, I release all things that no longer serve me. Moving forward, I release all things that no longer serve me. When you're ready, we can begin. On our mats, I'm going to just move a bit further back so you can see me. We're going to start off in tabletop. So the knees are going to be underneath the hips. The hands, elbows and shoulders are all going to be stacked. So you create this kind of table shape, hence the name tabletop. And to start with, I'd just like us to kind of move back into a kind of raised child's pose, so our heads raised, and forward. So we weight our hands and come back. So we're just moving forwards and back here. Taking our shoulders towards our fingertips really, so we're coming over the wrists and back. We're just warming up the wrists here. So inhaling to move forwards, exhaling to sink the bottom back to the heels. Don't worry if they don't touch. Inhaling forwards, exhaling coming down. And you might even go a little bit lower and allow the forehead to come down, reach the fingertips away. Then inhale forwards, keeping that belly kind of locked in, so we're not going to sag here. We're keeping that abdomen tight, so drawing the belly button in, exhaling, coming back, forehead down onto the mat. Make sure it's a full exhale and a full inhale into the belly and exhale back. And then here we'll turn the hands over, so we'll take the palms of the hands, turn them to face us and gently just roll and pivot through the tops of the hands. So we're just giving the wrist a little bit of a stretch out. And you can also pad them round to face outwards, a bit like a seal. So your hands are facing out to the sides, just working with your own mobility in your wrists. If today your wrists are feeling not the best, you can come up onto fists at any point that we normally have our palms down. And if you can manage it, you can turn your fingertips to face you. And give your forearms a really good stretch out and just gently rock up and over the fingertips here. Just going nice and slow. Good. Planting the hands down again. So you may want to move your left hand inwards slightly here to help with your balance, making a tripod shape. The right hand's going to reach up towards the ceiling. Big inhale. Looking up towards that hand, taking a twist through the body. heart reaching out to the side of the room. As you exhale, this hand's going to swoop down between wrist and knee, and you're going to look towards the left side. We're just going to hold this stance with the belly in, core engaged, then inhale again all the way up. As you exhale, that hand then dives between wrist and knee. Exhale to look. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Let's do this one more time. And down. We're going to plant that hand down onto the mat. You can give the left arm a little bit of a shake if you need to. You can move the right hand in. We'll do the same thing again. This time the left hand reaches up to the ceiling. Inhaling here, exhaling, just floating that hand between wrist and knee, keeping yourselves elevated off the mat. Inhale to reach. Exhale to point. Inhale to reach. Exhale to point. Inhale all the way up. Big stretch. Exhale to point. Plant that left hand down. Let's turn both hands over. Give them one more stretch. And then we're going to take cat and cow. You've probably done this a few times if you've worked with me before. So we're going to inhale, allow the belly to drop, the tailbone then lifts. So we tilt the pelvis. The heart reaches between the arms and we look ahead as well. So it's a heart opener, this one. Inhaling here. As we exhale, we push through the hands, we raise the shoulders, rounding the spine, looking like a cat. We look between the legs, allow the neck to hang. You can kind of move backwards and forwards here. And then inhale, let's draw the belly down, chest reaching forward, heart reaching between the shoulders. A little sway from side to side if you wish. Exhale into cat. Inhale to look forwards into cow. And let's make a nice big sigh as we exhale into cat. Turning the toes over, we'll take an inhale. Option here for some of you is just to lift the knees and just hold this here. If you prefer not to do this, you can leave the knees lowered but the toes engaged. Inhaling and just holding this here, drawing the belly in, squeezing the glutes together, engaging the legs, pressing the toes, fingertips, everything down into the mat, all that connectivity here. Creating a little bit of heat through the body. And then we can release that by walking the feet slowly to the hands, releasing the hands, give them a shake. I'd like us to take a sway in a semicircle around the leg area. You can hold onto your elbows here, bend the knees heavily, sticking the tailbone up into the sky. Allowing the neck to get long, the heart to reach down over the thighs towards the knees, getting nice and low. It can be more of a squatted position if that feels better for you. Just getting into this lovely forward fold, getting some blood flow to the brain. And then let's take an inhale and lift halfway. So we inhale, lengthen the spine. So we're creating space here. So from the tailbone to the crown of the head, get taller. And breathe. And then we're going to exhale. And time that with our head lowering down, our bottom coming down towards our heels. So we come into this squatted position. Squeeze the glutes together. If you want to rise up straight into standing, you can do here. If you just want to sway a few times, inhale to lift. Exhale to sink down. Inhale to lift, draw the belly in. Hands reaching upwards. Exhale, swing down. Inhale, come all the way up into standing. And let's look between the hands. Let's really reach the fingertips as far away as possible. Exhale, open up the hands. I'm just going to turn and face you. Let's take a couple of shoulder rolls backwards. Maybe 3 or 4 backwards. And a few forwards as well. See how they're feeling today. We'll take a very easy twist, so taking both hands out in front of us, inhaling here. We're going to slice the right hand back and turn our chest to the side and look towards that back hand. So just a standing twist. Inhale, come back to center. We'll do this again, but on the opposite side, left hand slices back. Let's look to the rear of the room. Inhale, both hands to center, and again on either side. Exhaling, taking that slice. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, slicing the left hand. Good, let's inhale, time both hands all the way up to the ceiling, and then you can take a bow. Bend the knees to soften this bow all the way down into your fold slowly here. You can take your fingertips onto the mat and have a go at just rolling through the feet. So lifting the heels, coming onto the toes, bringing the heels down, lifting the toes, just rocking forwards and backwards here. You might need to get down really low to do this. Or you can just hold your fold. Then let's inhale, straighten up the legs slightly here, softness through the knees, nice long spine. Lifting partway belly in, then exhaling, folding down. Let's plant the hands. So we're going to take a vinyasa here. If you've done this before, you can go ahead with your own. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, we're going to step the left foot back first, lower the left knee, making sure the right knee is over the right ankle. And we'll just pause here in a low lunge, just holding this hip, getting a little stretch through the hip. Then plant both hands, get that right leg back behind you. You can have the knees down in a modified low plank position, making sure that the hips are in line with the shoulders and the knees. Fingers are spread, elbows over wrists, shoulders over elbows. If you want to take a high plank, turn the toes over and just lift the knees off the mat. Draw the belly in. Inhale here, and then back down again. Lower the knees, bend the elbows, bring the heart and chin down, and then slowly slide forwards, pushing through the hands, taking a little cobra position. So we're just bending the elbows, tucking them into our sides. Squeeze the glutes together, get tall again. Heart reaches and melts forwards. Let's turn the toes over, press through the hands, pivot over the knees, and you can go through cat and cow again here if you want to, or you can rise up into downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, the hands are shoulder width apart, fingertips are spread, feet are hip width apart, heels can be raised, knees can be soft for the moment, just while you straighten up your spine so you get a nice long line from fingertip to tailbone. And then maybe your legs drop a little bit closer to the ground, but you can actually just lift one heel at a time and just focus on stretching one leg out, then the other. I like to inhale as my knees swap and exhale as I push my heel down. Good. That's one little sun salutation, and we'll do the same again. So inhale, look between your hands. You can walk your toes, or you can take a bunny hop all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, taking a half lift. Exhale to fold. Shaking your head no. Taking a sway from side to side. Bring your bottom down over your heels. Come into that chair pose nice and low. Making sure that we're not sticking our bottom out too much, so we're going to pull the belly in, keep that core engaged, arms by our sides if we're carrying really heavy shopping. And then you can come up into standing slowly, or you can go for the whooshing arms again. Inhale to lift the arms, exhale to swing them down past the hips. Inhale to whoosh the arms, come up a little bit higher, exhale, swing them down. Inhale, coming up into standing. Option here to just hold the hands above you, or you can take a little bit of a back bend, so you can reach up, bend the knees softly, push the hips forwards and reach the heart towards the ceiling. So you're just taking a bit of a standing back bend. Doesn't have to go particularly high. And you can also take your palms together and just press them on your forehead and lift your elbows. Just to encourage a little bit of a back bend. Inhale to straighten up, look forward, hand to heart center. Remember your intention here, so every time your palms are at your heart center, just remembering that intention. I release all things that no longer serve me. Good, and then let's come up again, all the way up. This time we're going to dive down with the arms wide, bend the knees, float the arms, come all the way down into your fold. Shaking the head out again. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine, parallel to the ground. Then exhale, fold, plant the hands. Take your vinyasa here if you want to follow me. I'm going to step the right foot back this time. Right knee drops down, release the toes. The left knee is over the left ankle. I'm going to keep my fingertips by either side of this foot and look forwards if I'm about to start a race. Just getting a little bit into that hip area there. Then pressing the hands into the mat, releasing the left leg behind. You can take the knees to the mat. keeping the hips forward in line with shoulders and knees, or you can turn the toes over, come into a high plank position. If you're feeling jazzy, you can lift one leg at a time in either position. And then when you've had enough, exhale, lower the knees, bend the elbows, let's bring the chest and chin down, scooch the belly in, chest forward, release the toes and come up into maybe a slightly higher cobra position this time. Or you can take upward dog, so you can plant the tops of the feet on the mat and lift the knees. Think about getting taller first and then opening up the heart forwards. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer now. And from this cobra position, let's slowly pivot over the knees. And again, you can come back into cat and cow, or even in a resting child's pose position. Or you can come up into downward facing dog. Once again, lifting one heel at a time if you wish. If you're happy in downward facing dog, let's just hold this here and just notice your legs slowly stretching out. Wrapping those shoulders around your ribcage, so it's an external rotation. Gripping those little fingers into the mat. Gripping the thumbs into the mat, gripping the toes into the mat. Drawing the belly in, arms in line with the ears. We're not going to sink into the shoulders, we're going to keep it nice and strong. Good, and from here we're going to take our right foot forwards. So you can either scooch it forward straight away, or you can try and take three-legged dog. You can even open up the hips a little bit here, just bending the knee, opening up the hips, and then taking it down underneath you, bringing that foot forward wherever it can go. And you can use your hand to help this foot as well. We're going to take it close to our hands. We'll release the left knee to the ground and release the toes. We'll just take a low lunge or crescent lunge here. So we're going to lift the arms up. And if you want to offer your heart to the ceiling again, you can do. We're going to exhale, bring the hands down. Let's engage the toes. If you want to, you can just pause here in a high lunge position. If you're happy in low lunge, stay there. We'll just hold it for a little bit longer. Another swoop with the arms up to the ceiling. Then we're going to exhale, hands coming down. Let's take the right hand to the ceiling in a twist. So you can lower that knee if you want to, or you can keep yourself in this high lunge with a twisty. Looking up at that hand. See if you can really open your chest up to the side, getting that stretch through the glutes here. Let's lower that hand down. And we're going to drop the heel down on the rear foot. So the rear foot's going to pivot 90 degrees from your front foot. And you're going to take a nice swoopy arm. You get nice and creative with your arms here. Taking the arms out either side, in line with the shoulders. Apologies, my back is to you. And making sure that that front knee is over that ankle. Rear foot's around about 90 degrees. If you're finding that your knee's veering inwards, turn your rear foot towards your front foot a little bit. Just kind of taking the hip opening down a level. Arms coming out either side. We're going to keep flowing here. So inhale, reaching up above you, looking at your palms, the front leg straightens. Exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale to lift. Exhale to drop down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to drop down. And again. And down. Now what you can do here is you can take one of two poses. You can take yourself into a side angle pose. So you can rest your forearm here on this thigh and reach the other arm towards the ceiling, or swoop it across you and forwards. Or if you want to take triangle pose, you can straighten that leg, reach as far forward as possible, and then windmill, open up the arms. So you've either got a bent leg and a rest, or you've got a straight leg and an open. I'll leave it up to you. Making sure that this hip's not collapsing forward, so we're still opening up the hips here, heart's reaching towards the side of the room. Then we're going to windmill, open the arms wherever we are, come back to warrior two, and then we bring the rear arm forwards, lift that rear heel, scooch all the way down. Optional vinyasa here. So you can move through that plank position if you want to, or you can plant the hands down, bring that foot back, and just take a bit of a rest in child's pose here. If you're taking a rest in child's pose, feel free to take your elbows onto the mat, palms together above the back of your head. Getting a nice stretch down your triceps here. If you're an experienced yogi and you're taking your vinyasa, or you're keen for a bit more of a workout, we'll join you in downward facing dog. So we're going to plant our hands down if you're in child pose with me. Bring the spine up and over through cat if you like, and then turn the toes over. Draw yourself up into downward facing dog, ready for that little flow on the other side. So left foot's going to come forwards, but we can take ourselves into three-legged dog first. You can bend the knee, open up the hips for a bit of flair, and then bring that leg down. Plant the foot onto the mat. Oh, we're starting off with our low lunge here. So fingertips either side of that front foot, knee over ankle, looking forward, swooping up the arms if we want to here. Push the hips forward, squeeze the glutes together. Nice big stretch. Then both hands come down. We engage the toes, lift the knee. We can take ourselves into a high lunge here. If you prefer the low, stay in the low. Another big swoop towards the ceiling. As you inhale, exhale, both hands coming down. We'll do that little twisty again. Right hand takes your weight. Left hand reaches towards the ceiling. Left hand's going to come down. We're going to take the rear foot and turn it 90 degrees. And come up into this warrior two again. So I'll give you a couple of moments to catch up if you're not sure or if there's a bit of a delay. So whilst we're here, just taking your stance properly, so making sure front foot faces forward, knee doesn't veer in, it's over that ankle, it's not beyond, it's not too far back, it's just in the right place. So the rear foot can stay around 90 degrees, or it can turn inwards to allow this knee to get into the right position. Time to adjust your leggings. Take the arms out either side and gaze over that front middle finger. That's your warrior two. Stretch the fingertips far away, and then just draw your shoulder blades back behind you slightly here without arching your back. And an inhale to reach, straighten the legs, reaching up above you, looking at the palms. Straighten that front leg, then sinking back down to warrior two. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling, opening up the arms back to warrior two. And again, all the way up. And all the way down. I think it's one more time. All the way up. Exhaling, all the way down. And then from here we can take one of those stances. If you want the easier option, leaning on that front leg with forearm. Arm can come up to the ceiling or swoop across your body forwards. Or if you're happy taking triangle pose, it's the front leg that's straight and the arms, hands are in line with each other on the inside of this calf here. Nice side body stretch. Wiggle your fingers, get the blood pumping. Looking up at that top hand if you can. Drawing this hip back. And then let's bring ourselves back up into warrior two. We're going to swoop the arms forwards, lift that rear heel. Take an inhale here. Then exhale to lower, plant the hands, bring the left foot back. Plant the hands down. Let's move through cat and cow. So we'll inhale. Belly drops down, heart reaches between the arms, looking ahead, forwards, tailbone reaching the ceiling. Inhaling here. Exhaling, pressing through the hands, drawing the belly in, looking between the legs, tucking the chin towards the chest. Inhaling, belly comes down, heart reaches forward, gazing ahead. Exhaling, pressing through the hands, looking between the legs. And one more time, inhaling to look forward. Exhaling to look between the legs. We're just going to go backwards in our practice. So the left hand's going to move to the centre of the mat a little bit here if you need more steadiness. The right hand's going to reach up to the ceiling as we take those twists again. Inhale to look at that top hand. Exhale that hand all the way between wrist and knee, looking to the left side. We're going to do this 4 times. Inhale again. Big stretch. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And on the 4th time, we're actually going to lay our shoulder down on the mat. So inhale to lift. Exhale, scooch that hand between wrist and knee. The shoulder comes down to the mat. The head comes down to the mat. The bottom stays lifted. And we're actually trying to walk this hand as far away as possible underneath us. The left hand can either reach to the top of the mat. You can get a stretch through the shoulder here. Or you can take that left hand across your lower back to the opposite hip and just rest it there and take that twist. So you're drawing that shoulder up and back and looking over it as well. Just seeing what feels good for you. If you just want to rest that elbow down, you can do and just take more of a resting pose. Then slide that left hand back next to your face. Right hand goes for one more reach towards the ceiling, unfurling. And then plant it down. We do the same on the left side. So you can bring the right hand in a little bit for balance if you want to. Remember, you can always come up onto a fist if that feels more comfortable for your wrist. Big reach through the left hand. Exhale, left hand between wrist and knee, just hovering here off the mat. Inhaling, big reach towards the ceiling. Exhale. You're going to do that 2 more times. 1. And exhale. And on the last time, we'll do that same thing. Big reach towards the ceiling. Then we exhale, we lay that shoulder down on the mat. We lay the head down on the mat. And this right arm can walk to the top of our mat. We can peek underneath this arm, reaching the left arm as far as we can away from us. So you can actually turn the hand around, walk the fingertips away, then turn the palm. To get a lovely deep stretch here. Or you can take this top hand all the way to your opposite hip and draw that shoulder back so you get a lovely stretch here across your chest. You might be able to take a bind with your fingertips around to the opposite thigh and give it a little squeeze. And then releasing that right arm towards the ceiling. Planting it down next to your face. Left hand reaches all the way around, big sway upwards. Then exhale. Bring that left hand down. We're going to bring our legs round in front of us. So you might want to swing them round to the right, or you might cross your legs and bring your bottom back over them and then fling them out in front. I'll just move a little bit more central for you. So let's soften the knees here, so keep them soft for the moment. Nice big lift towards the ceiling with the hands. So I've got a big gap under here at the moment. Toes are facing the ceiling, fingertips facing the ceiling. Looking between my hands, draw the belly in. Just breathing here. Then as we exhale, let's bring the palms together. And just take a little bit of a bend forward. See if you can take yourself into a nice straight back position here. And then you can take your fingertips down either side of your legs. You may find that you can slowly lower the knees down a little bit, but just keeping this straight back position, so shoulders back, heart reaches forward, nice flat back here. You can feel the stretch across here. You might be able to reach your toes. You can just draw them towards you. Or if you have a yoga strap nearby, I'm very colour coordinated today, I realise, you can always take that strap around your feet and use them for a little bit more of a stretch. Up to you. And then when you're ready, you can fingertip back, take an inhale, big reach towards the ceiling again. And we're just going to take the right hand to the outside of the left thigh. The left hand's going to reach behind you and you're going to take a very gentle twist. Done lots of twisting today, so this should feel nice for you. Just go as deep as you feel is comfortable for you. So inhale, making sure that spine is nice and long. Exhale, looking over that left shoulder. We inhale, come back to center. Let's take the fingertips behind our hips. Spread them so that they're facing forwards. Draw the shoulders up and back, and we'll just open up the chest here in a seated reverse plank. Feeling that chest open, feeling a lovely stretch across the fronts of your shoulders. Then inhale to sit. Plant that left hand on the outside of the right thigh and then take your twist over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. And from here, as we exhale, we can lower ourselves down onto our backs. And the way you can do it is you can use your hands, or you can go for a little bit of a limbo type pose. So you can go through a low boat pose. If you fancy that, draw the belly in, start to round the spine. Hands can float above the ground facing upwards, and you can slowly shift your heels towards your bottom. As you lower your spine, one vertebrae at a time, just limboing down onto your mat and releasing here. Just take a moment to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe take a full body stretch. I'm just going to shift forwards. You can interlace the fingers, push the palms away from you, squidging your ears with your arms, pointing the toes. And then as you exhale, let's draw the knees to the chest. Bringing your tailbone up, just rounding the spine here. Taking a little sway from side to side. So we've got the option here for a little back bend. If you want to bring the soles of your feet together and allow the knees to spread in more of a hip opener with a little back bend, you can reach the arms above your head, taking Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined cobbler's pose. If you prefer to take bridge pose, and that's in your practice, you can do that. Heels, as always, underneath knees, feet firmly planted, hands firmly planted, pressing through the hands and feet. Pressing the shoulders into the mat, inhaling, squeezing the glutes together, lifting the hips. Making sure the knees are in line with the hips so we're not flaring them outwards. You can interlace your fingers and come up onto your triceps if you prefer. And open up the chest a little bit more. You can push through the feet, lifting the belly, chest, rib cage, all the way up. Lovely back bend here. And then releasing shoulders first. Releasing each vertebrae back down onto the mat until your back is flat. Flattening the back, pressing that lower back into the mat. You can draw one knee to your chest. Straighten out the other. If you want to, you can float it off the mat. You can then swap hands. And you can bring both knees together. And once again, a little sway from side to side. So from here we can take our final inversion. So we can push the feet towards the ceiling, holding onto the toes if you want to here, taking happy baby. And a little sway from side to side is always delightful. Or you can push your heels towards the ceiling and take more of a waterfall position. You can even here grab yourself against the wall and put your heels and just rest them there. I quite like flexing my feet and pointing the toes, maybe circling the ankles as well here. You can always take a shoulder stand if that's in your practice, just making sure that you're looking towards the ceiling. when you do that, and just taking your time. Cycling the legs, anything that feels good for that blood flow, for those muscles, maybe a wide-legged stance as well. Following your inversion, you might want to take a final pose or two, whether that's a stretch or a squeeze or a counter pose, depending on your practice. And once you've taken those final positions that are up to you, you can bring yourself into Shavasana. If you're not sure what Shavasana is, I'll just demo actually. So the legs are wide apart, the big toes hang out over the little toes, arms away from the body. It's kind of like you've been thrown onto the ground and you've just flopped out into a star shape. If that's not comfortable for you, just take a similar supine lying down position that is comfortable for you, or get onto your sofa or onto your duvet and get comfy. So we're just going to do a bit of a guided relaxation and then we'll be finishing. So get yourself comfortable. If you have a blanket or a jumper, just make sure that you've got that here now. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. So let's begin by closing our eyes in Shavasana. Just noticing if we're holding our muscles, so maybe holding our hands in fists or our shoulders up by our ears, just relaxing those muscles gently. Let your body spread out on the mat with your eyes closed. Just take a moment to listen. Listen to your surroundings. Listen to your own breath. Listen to your body. Feel that blood pumping round. Notice each muscle. Can you gently relax and release everyone? Remembering our intention, I release all things that no longer serve me. Let your breath come naturally, taking in that energy from your surroundings. And as you inhale, imagine that breath spreading to every corner of your body. And with every exhale, your body cleanse of stress and worries, all release. As you take these cleansing breaths, feel your body soften against the ground. Let yourself be gently cradled here. Your breath moving gently. Your body taking time out to relax. As you lie here, imagine your skin warmed by our solstice sun. Bathed in a yellow glow. Exactly where you should be. Relax your jaw and your mouth. Relax your cheeks and your eyes. Melt that spot between your eyebrows, smooth across your forehead. Let the top of your head and your hairline fully release. Maybe you feel some tingles here. Releasing any final tension from the crown of your head. Slowly bring your ears back to listening. Hearing your surroundings, hearing your own breath. Feeling those points of pressure under your body pressed onto the mat and ground. Let yourself be filled with a lightness and freshness as you take a nice deep breath and start to wiggle fingers and toes. I'm going to shortly chime these tincture bells just once, and when you hear them, just take any stretch that feels comfortable for you before rolling onto your right side. I'm going to chime the bell now. So taking any final stretches or maybe hugs across your body. A nice deep, strong breath as you roll onto your right side. Give yourself one last squeeze and then come and join me in a seated position on your mat, bringing your palms together at your heart center. Just taking the shoulders up to the ears, relaxing them down, maybe rotating the neck gently, circling here. Check in with your body. Check in with your breath. And once more, how you feel on the inside. Remembering that intention to release all things that no longer serve. And to close this practice today, I will take one round of Om. If you want to join in at home, you can do. I'm just going to take an inhale here, close my eyes. Rubbing your hands together, placing them over your eyes and gently fluttering them open. Come back to your surroundings. It's been a pleasure teaching you this morning on International Yoga Day. I know that there's lots of resources online if you want to carry on doing yoga or listen to some info. Just check it out on Google. Lots of things will come up. But thank you for joining me this morning in a nice flowing practice. If you have any questions, feel free to send me any messages on Instagram or on Facebook or via email, that's fine. I think on Facebook I've put down the link for donating. If you want to donate to Mind, you can do today. They offer these wonderful monthly packs with lots of mindfulness, creative products and exercises that you can do. And you can actually send that to someone else if you want to as well, as a little bit of a thoughtful gift. Or you can donate to myself as well, as usual, using the usual methods. That's fine as well. So thank you for joining once again, and hopefully I'll see some of you soon.